Okay, today we're going to do publishing in AutoCAD using layouts. And let me just tell you up front, my sound quality, I'm moving out of my office, so there's not much furniture in here, so the echo is pretty intense. So hopefully this is hearable for all of you guys. What we're going to do today is go through how to make layouts and use them properly to do DWF publishing. And layouts are technology in AutoCAD that can help you with a lot of things, not just DWF publishing. They can help with your printing as well. I find that not a lot of people know how to use layouts. So I still go to a lot of places where people are doing things the old way, and I wanted to kind of see if I could help educate you a little bit on how this is supposed to work. So if you've never done layouts before, hopefully this will help you. This is a typical drawing and AutoCAD drawing, and I've got a lot of different things here that are supposed to be different sheets. So let me turn this off here. So this is supposed to be the elevations of my house. This is supposed to be the plans. Here's the existing plan, and here's the roof plan. And within that, I've got some layers. So like the electrical plan is buried inside the floor plan, and the demolition plan is buried inside the same set of plans. So what I'm going to do is create a set of layouts in order to separate all those out and make them much easier to plot and publish. So the first thing you're going to notice when you start a new drawing is you might have one or more layout tabs here. Now these, when you start out, they're not configured, so they're not ready for you to use. They're just there so you understand kind of the concept. First thing you're going to want to do is go in here and delete the viewport that is in there by default. Okay, a viewport. What is a viewport? A viewport is a hole. Imagine it as a hole cut into a piece of paper that zooms in on the thing behind it. So if we go in and look here, see, I can zoom inside the viewport and not change the paper. And this is how I position on my sheet where I want my drawing to live. So here's my sheet of paper, and I can move it around to get what I want to see on the paper. I can click out here to get into paper space. I can click into here to get into model space. So double click to switch back and forth. You can also use the M space and P space commands as you see down there. Okay, what's the size of this paper? The way to figure it out, right click on the tab here, Page Setup Manager. You're going to use this a lot. Just to quickly take you through the options, here's where you create a new layout. Here's where you create a new layout from a template if you've already got a template set up. We'll go into that in a little while. Delete it, rename it, move it, select all. Go into the Model tab if you want to flip back over to here, which, you know, just takes you back to model space that you're probably familiar with. You can do it that way also. And then finally, Page Setup Manager. Page Setup Manager is where you're going to store your page setups. And you can see I've got some here already. I'm going to delete these out of here so we can start with what you're going to see. A page setup is simply a saved set of plot settings. I'm going to call this one 11 by 17 because that's what this is supposed to be printed at. I like to name them according to the size of the paper. You can call them whatever you want. We get the standard plot dialog here, except that when I'm finished, this is not going to plot. So I'm going to go in and choose my monochrome. I want to see the plot styles because I like to see them. I'm going to go to Ledger, which is 11 by 17. We're going to plot the layout, plot 1 to 1. That looks okay. I'm going to hit OK. And now I've got 11 by 17 as a page setup. I can create a new one if I want and call it 24 by 36. I can have as many of these as I want to have. So we'll take the same. I'm just going to the PDF driver because that's the only one I have. You could create your own. You print to your normal printer here. D size, no, that's 22 by 34. What is it, E size? C size. I can never remember which one is 24 by 36. Oh, there it is, architectural D. Layout 00, blah, 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 all that looks okay. So now I've got a 24 by 36 and I've got an 11 by 17. Now watch what happens. If I double click on one, it sets it as the current. So when I did that, you saw the paper change. That's now an 11 by 17 sheet, and that's how big my viewport would be on there. If I flip to 24 by 36, it gets even smaller. What's happening is the geometry is not getting any smaller, the paper's getting bigger. So this is how my viewport would look on a 24 by 36 sheet of paper. This is how it would look on 11 by 17. I want to stick with that. Just double click to set it, and this will show you what the current one is. Real quickly, if you want to modify one, you click right here. If you want to import a page setup from another drawing, you can do that also. Okay, so I'm going to close that. Now there's my viewport. Now, the problem is my viewport doesn't fill the screen. So what I like to do is delete it, start over. So I just hit the delete button on my keyboard, or you can hit erase, or however you like to delete things. put your viewport on a layer that is not where there's drawing stuff. So I usually use the zero layer, or you can create a viewport layer, whichever one you want to go. The command for creating one is mview. So you just type mview and hit enter twice and it'll fit your paper. I'm going to do that again. Delete mview, enter, enter. Now my viewport fits my margins of my paper. Perfect. Zoom in here. Now you can just manually position it on there, but the problem is it's not to scale. So how do you get this thing to be to scale? Well, what you do is you get out of it, get into paper space, click on here, right click and say properties. Yeah, it may have been cut off, but I used the properties menu item. So here's my little properties menu. Now down here in the viewport under miscellaneous, you have some specific things about viewports, and one of them is the standard scale. Set that to whatever scale you want your drawing to plot at. So we're going to go 8th scale here. So there's my thing at 8th scale. And then I can zoom in and pan it and get it to fit on the paper the way I want. Now I don't have a title block in this case, but if I did, I could insert the title block either into layout or into model space. It doesn't matter which. So there's tricks you can use to get this to fit properly and make sure that your drawing is going to fit the paper. I'm not going to go into those now, but basically what you want to do is create a viewport into model space and then set it up to fit on the right scale. When you're done, you can go in and change the, let me go back over here, change the display to lock it. And when you lock the display, now what happens is, in contrast to earlier when I double clicked in here, now I'm moving the whole sheet. See how that's working? If I turn that off, I'll do it by the right click menu this time. Display lock, no. Now if I go in here, I'm moving the paper around, or moving the geometry around. That's bad, because I don't want to mess it up. Once I have it set, I just want it to stay where it is, no matter what I do. So take my word for it, and just say display lock, yes. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to the VP layer command. The VP layer command is how you turn stuff off that you don't want to see. In this case, I don't want to see the electrical. I'm going to double click to get in here. Now I've got, that's on the add electrical layer. So I'm going to use the VP layer command, viewport layer. I'm going to say freeze, and I'm going to freeze the add electrical, add-elec. I'll select a current. I'm just going to say in the current viewport, it's gone. Okay, it's only gone in this viewport. It's not gone in model space. You can still see it there in model space, those arcs and those symbols. In the viewport though, it's gone. So that's how you can turn things off. Similar, I don't want the demolition. That's demo. So I'm going to go VP layer, freeze, demo. And it's gone. So what this allows you to do is create viewports even on one sheet that have different views of your drawing in them. So you don't have to freeze and thaw a bunch of layers before you plot. You can do it with your viewports. It's extremely handy. If right now you're using a script to freeze and thaw all these different layers, you don't need to do that. Just use VP layer. Okay, I'm going to create a new layout. I'm going to right click right here, say new layout. Again, it comes in with a default set of settings on it. Page setup, 11 by 17. There's my 11 by 17. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go mview, enter, enter. There's my viewport. Let's do the roof plan. So I'm going to say zoom into right here. And then I'm going to go back out to paper space. Oops, I did it wrong. Let's do it again. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to say properties on this should be 8th scale. So we're going to change this back to 8th also, 1/8 inch scale. There we go. And now I've got to pan the viewport in the roof plan into position. Okay, so my roof plan will fit very comfortably on this plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 viewports. So we'll just grab this and go over here, and I'll do another viewport, and I'm going to make this one go to here. And on this one, I'm going to put the demolition plan. So we're going to go in here, we're going to zoom into this plan. I'm going to make the scale to be 8th scale. Go in here, and now I'm going to turn off with VP layer the things I don't want to see. So I'm going to freeze the text layer.